What's up, guys? Welcome back to my podcast. This is Relationship Talk Unfiltered podcast. In case you're joining me for the first time, my name is Prophet Eneh, and I'm your favorite relationship coach. So I'm super excited to be back here today. I know it's been a while. I've been away for some time. I've not really been able to record any episode, but like I said in the last episode, I would like to continue from where I stopped there because we are currently on a series where we are talking about things men and women prioritize when they are trying to choose or select who they want to spend the rest of their life with. So last week we talked about, or the last episode, we talked about things men prioritize and things women think men prioritize, but they don't actually prioritize it. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about things women prioritize when they want to choose a husband or want to date somebody, because I already established in the last video that men and women are not looking for the same thing. We all have different needs and we are pursuing our different need. But the major mistake we have noticed is that sometimes women do things they think men want, or men do things they think women want, whereas this is not actually what they are looking for. So I would like to also say this, like I said in the last video, just to make it clear in case you have not seen the last video. What I'm about to share with you right now, I'm not saying this applies to every human being, every man or every woman. What I'm trying to say is that majority, from the research, from the findings that I've done, this is what I've discovered that most women prioritize when they are looking for a life partner. And from the last video, what most men are looking for when looking for a life partner. So if you have not watched the last video, I will encourage you to go ahead and watch the last episode, and then you can understand what we are talking about in this series. Our next episode will be on things I think that every individual who's a Christian especially should prioritize when actually trying to find a life partner. So I hope that by the end of this episode, that as a lady, you will also like have come to realization that, oh, this is what we actually prioritize. I never knew that this is how I thought about it. Or as a guy, you'll be like, oh, I never really knew this was what ladies wanted, and it will help you. I believe it's important for men and it's important for women. Before I jump into this video, I just want to encourage you guys, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do well to subscribe, like this video, share it if it blesses you, and also you can also subscribe to my podcast platform. This podcast will be airing on almost all podcasts listening platforms, but specifically Anchor Podcast and Apple Podcast. And also rate this video, help us to grow, share it with your friend, rate this podcast in general. The audio, there'll be audio version, there'll be video version, so whichever one you feel like you want to listen to, go ahead. The ball is on your courts. So diving into today's episode, the first thing I know that women prioritize when they are looking for a man is the man's vision. Like, women are more like I said, women are more vision oriented, in the sense they want to know where a man is going to. Unlike the other time when we talked about men, we talked about men are more past oriented. They want to know what a woman has done in her past life. They prioritize that more than they prioritize a woman's future. Not like they don't think about a woman's future, but then it's more of a priority for them to figure out what this woman's past looks like. That's for men. But for women, it's more important to them that they know what this man's future look like. So they are very, very like they put it into in their things to consider. It's usually the first thing: the man's leadership ability, the man's ability to lead the home, the man's ability to care, the man's plan, and all those stuff. So women prioritize that a lot, because the truth is that, as the Bible already told us, the man is the head of the home. So if you want to get married to a man and the man doesn't have the quality of a leader, the man doesn't show that he has a vision, he has a purpose, it will be very difficult for you to live with such a person, because you don't know where you're going to. They said there's a saying that says, if you don't know where you're going to, any road could possibly lead you there. But the error there now is that even when you get to that place, you won't even know you have gotten to where you're going to. So as the head of the home, as a man, it's important to know where you're going to. It's important to have vision. So women prioritize this because they don't want to just follow somebody who behaves like a headless chicken, just bouncing from here to here. No, they prefer men who has focus. So it's an advice to men out there. That's why most time we advise men, find your purpose first of all, find what you're supposed to do. We're not saying this is not about money right now. This is about understanding who you are as a man, having a vision for your life. Yeah, potentials are important or not those stuff, but then do you have a plan? Do you like, have you thought about your 5 years, your 10 years? Where do you want to be, and are you working towards it? It will make it easier for you to get the kind of woman you want as a man if your life is more organized. Because sometimes when your life is disorganized, then you don't need help. You don't need help because, first of all, you need to get your life to some reasonable extent, to be organized to some reasonable extent, for the woman to now come in and know, okay, this is where we are going to, this is what you want to achieve, this is how it's going to be. That way you will now know, it will now help the woman to know where to fill in. But if you don't have a vision, if you don't have a goal for your life, you don't have a plan, if you're not working towards it, it becomes very, very difficult for a woman to know what you are trying to achieve or where to fit in into your life. That's the problem with so many people. They go ahead and date. For the women that don't put this into consideration, they go ahead and date men who have no vision, and at the end of the day, their life is so messed up, like just the man. So it's very, very important. And this is one thing I think is important. It's good that women are prioritizing this: a man's vision, a man's plan to be a leader, and all those stuff. So the second thing that women have come across that they prioritize is now the financial aspect, how much the man makes. Well, this one can be debatable because when it is stretched too far, it becomes a problem for most women, and also it becomes a problem to men, because what this has led so many men to do is that, because women are prioritizing the fact that a man needs to have money, be able to provide and protect for his family and all those stuff, men are put in situations where they don't want to get married on time. They want to chase the bag first of all. They want to secure the bag. They want to make the money. And the truth is that when they have made all those money, most times they don't want the women within their age gap anymore. They want younger women, because for right now, if you graduate with a guy from college, most likely the lady gets married first before the guy, because the guy has to go chase the bag and all those stuff. But then I think it's wrong to expect a man to have the whole money in the world before you can give him your attention. When I say the whole money in the world, you people understand what I'm saying. Today we are looking for men that are women are looking for men that are so rich, while the one that are still like at least take care of themselves, food the bills and all those stuff. They don't really consider them, because they want to go for vacation, they want to be taken care of, they want to do all those, spend all those money and all those stuff. But let's be honest, can we be honest? Like, how many men do you think actually make those figures that you are thinking about? Like, how many of them? How many men? It's more like they're just in the top 2%. Like, because if you check it, the economy or the state of the nation, wherever you are right now in the world, it's super hard to be able to even run a home with one income. An average man needs the help or financial support of the wife to be able to run the home. That's the truth. Like even in America, most people in America, they live in debt, because to get a house, to get a car, to get this student loan, you have things you are paying off for the rest of your life. So you don't even have that money per se, even though you're making six figures at the end of the year and all those stuff. So those who are more comfortable, those who are living more comfortable, making the money, the six figures, the how much, whatever, 200,000 a year or whatever dollars you want to talk about, or you want as a woman, the truth is that they are like very few. And the chances of you meeting that kind of man, based on your location, think about it, based on your location, where you are as a person, are you even in that friendship circle with those kind of people that made that kind of money? That's the question you need to ask yourself. So I know women prioritize this, but I'm not saying you shouldn't, but then I'm saying you should also be more considerate. So what I mean by more considerate in this sense is that most men, if you start doing the maths now, you discover that most of those men that are making all those money actually didn't make the money before they get married. Some of them actually got married and they built with their wife, or got married and kept growing. Before you know it, they are now up there. So what I'm trying to say is that it's good. It's not a bad thing to try to build with a man. I know many people are scared today to build with men. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. You just need someone who is honest, someone who is dependable, somebody who has integrity, who has proven to you over time that they are not just deadbeats. So you need that kind of person, and then both of you can work together. So I made a read the other day. I was saying, for us to be able to cure the pandemic that has to do with women waiting into their 30s, their 40s, waiting for men to come to them, and men waiting, or men not approaching these women when they are still very much young. And for us to cure that disparity and all those stuff, women getting married to men that they don't actually love because the man seems like he's financially stable, while the person they are with doesn't look like they are financially stable yet, and all those stuff. For us to be able to cure that pandemic, we need to get to a point where women need to learn how to wait not too long, but to a point where they are able to settle with the man, even if he's not making the whole money in the world, and build with him. And men also, they need to come to that point where they are not trying to make all the whole money in the world. So it means for men need to wait lesser, and women need to wait a little bit longer. So it's more of like striking a balance between these two things, so that you people meet each other halfway. So even if you leave school with a guy, he probably might not be that rich, but then within a year or two after leaving school, it's possible that he can gain some level of stability, not the whole wealth in the world, more like a level of stability. And then both of you can build from there. You see, at the same time, you are age mates, or maybe a year or 2 years older and stuff like that. You're able to build together and grow together, and then enjoy together. So I think women prioritize this, but like I said, it's not bad, but it can be bad for you if your priorities for it are becoming unrealistic. So check it very well to be sure that the idea that you are prioritizing financial stability or financial wealth or whatever you want to call it is rooted on the right foundation and not just unrealistic foundation. So the next thing that women prioritize, just like money, is physical acquisitions like assets, land, all those stuff, wares. So unlike unlike men they don't really prioritize. Men are more concerned about the shape, the beauty, the person per se, while women are more concerned about the material covering this person. So most women don't care if a man, some do, but most women don't care if a man is fine, as long as he's rich and he has good cars, he dresses well and all those stuff. So they prioritize those things more than they prioritize the man's actual looks. So sometimes that's why most men don't stress over their look. They don't, because their look as per their their self, but they want to wear the biggest chain, the chain of 10 million, the jeans, the car, the biggest ride, rents house, do stuff like that just to impress these women. That's because that's what most women prioritize. And it's actually, this one, I would say this is actually not a good thing to prioritize when looking for your husband. It's something that you need to check or cancel out from your list, because the truth of the matter is that most people that dress in a flashy manner are actually poor. I don't know if that hits. Most people who dress in a flashy manner have no financial management skill. I'm not saying that people shouldn't buy whatever they want to buy, but then if we look at it, most times men do this thing because they want to impress women. So they borrow and wear those stuff. And then they'll give you too. But then you discover that when they finally get you, they are not able to continue. They're not able to keep doing those stuff. So it's very, very important that you don't allow yourself to get into that position where you use because of material things that you see a man possess and decide to pick a husband. You understand what I'm saying? So don't allow yourself to do that. So I think amongst everything I've talked about today, this is the one that I really feel needs to be struck off entirely. I'm not saying you should go for a guy who dresses shallow or who doesn't know have a dress sense, but then you don't need those flashy things. You don't need the cars to make you feel like, oh, this is the man I need to be with. No, those kind of people, what I've discovered, those kind of people, those kind of men, they lack character. They are the kind of men that believe they can get any woman they want because they have made money. So they dress in that sense, and then they will get you, they will use you, and they will dump you. Because like we talked about in the second thing I talked about, like the idea that women prioritize financial stability and wealth and all those stuff for men, it makes some of these men to go out there. They don't pursue women. They go out there, they make the money, or maybe some of them, if they pursued a woman when they were not that okay, that rich before, and the woman says no, most of them will just say, okay, fine, let me go and chase the bag. They will chase the bag, get the bag, and then they will start treating women anyhow because, well, I have the money. I can pick any lady I want. And they'll pick anyone they want, useless, that one, sleep with her, do any stuff, then walk away. So that's the problem. So you must learn how to not allow yourself to become a victim of this kind of men. If you want to prioritize it, I don't know for you, but then it is what it is. So the next thing that women prioritize is security. They want to know that they are secure with a man. They want a man that will protect them. They want a man that will assure them that they are the only one. You know, women love assurance so much. So protection or security is not just in physical protection, because if it's based on physical protection, then I don't know. Most men are not that strong when it comes to physical strength. So it's not just about physical strength, it's about emotional protection. It's about protecting them from your family. Because one thing most people don't know is that when you decide to marry somebody, when you decide to be with somebody, you need to learn how to protect them from your family. Because one thing about family is that family will always take side. They will always side with their child in this kind of situation. So you don't want to give your family the information that will make them to have a bad idea or have a bitter attitude towards your spouse. So as a man, as a woman, you need to protect your spouse. So women prioritize their lot, security. They want to be secured. They want a man who will stand up for them, a man who will speak for them when it needs to be done. I'm not saying that women don't have a voice. They do have a voice, but then their baby, they're like our baby. Like, I don't know how to put it. They're like the baby. You have to cherish them, give them assurance and all those stuff, protect them. So that's one other thing they prioritize. Then I think the last thing I'll be talking about in this episode about what women prioritize is communication. But then I know that women talk more than men do. But at the same time, I just feel like even though women prioritize communication, not a lot of them know how to communicate actually. Sometimes people think that just talking is communication. Communication has a lot to do with talking, listening, understanding, and other stuff like that. I have a video on my channel, a series actually, where I talked about a lot about communication. You can check it out and learn how to actually communicate in your relationship. So I know that communication is important. Women prioritize it. They want to talk to their husband. They want to give them gist. So this is more like an encouragement to men. Yeah, I know it might be hard for some of us. It might be hard for some of you because you didn't really grow up maybe having that maturity to listen to a woman talk and assure her and all those stuff. I want to encourage you. You have to develop that. Women will always talk because they like talking, and you should be a man that enjoy listening to your wife talk. And also you should know how to differentiate when she just wants you to listen to her talk and when she actually needs your solution or advice. Because I made those mistakes, and I know men are making those mistakes today. So even before, whenever a friend is sharing something, especially a female friend is sharing something, I'm more concerned about, do you just want to tell me this? Do you just want to rant about this? Or are you telling me because you want me to give you a solution? I need to know where you are coming from so that I'll be able to know how to react, how to address this, so that You don't start giving solution when they just want you to hold them and just tell them it will be okay and just tell them it will be all right, it will be fine and all those stuff. Because men, we are most times solution driven. We just want to, this is it, this is it, do this, do that, do that, do that. So sometimes we need to learn that it's not always about providing solutions. Sometimes it's just about listening and validating what they feel. So when you validate what they feel, it helps them, and when they need a solution, they will tell you they need a solution, and then you help them find a solution to it. So women prioritize communication. So if you actually want to have a good relationship with a woman, you should find a way to learn how to communicate with her, to listen to her when she's talking, to respond in a kind way, and learn how to talk. Talk too, yeah. It will be good to learn how to talk too. You don't have to um be good with it to know how to do it. Sometimes you learn through the process. So with that said, so these are like the 5 things I believe that women prioritize. You can add yours in the comment box. You can add yours and tell me if this is true or not. Like I said, this is based on research that I've done, and I've seen that these are things I believe women prioritize when looking for a husband. So as a man out there, if you really want to get that woman you want, you should be able to look at these things that women prioritize and see how you can be able to work on these things for yourself. Because like I said, for women, it is one thing to develop yourself to become the person you want to be in life. It's another thing to develop yourself to become the person that the person you want to be with is looking for. You understand what I'm saying? So don't just focus on preparing yourself to be all you want to be. Also prepare yourself to be with that kind of person, or also prepare yourself to be that kind of person, the person you want. Because that's the problem. We have list, we have spec, but have you ever thought about if you are your spec? So that's life. That's why at the end of the day, you see some people, you like somebody but they don't like you, then somebody likes you but you don't like the person. So it's all dramas and all those stuff. So in as much as you're working on yourself as a man to be your best, also cultivate those abilities, those skills that women need, so that they'll be able to accept you when you come. I hope that makes sense. So let's look at some things that I think men do that they think women prioritize. I'm not saying that women don't look for these things, but then it's not a priority. They might want it, but then it's not a priority. This other one I've talked about is more of a priority to them. So most times, women don't really prioritize a man's past. That's why this debate of body count, whatever they're talking about, that's what I want to talk about here today. That's why most times they don't care. Women don't, who cares? As long as he's making the money, as long as he's okay, as long as he can take care of me, well, his past can go. But that's a different case for men. Most men, they just want to know that past. Because I think the idea or the desire to know a woman's past for men boils down from the fact that it seems like women have control over so many things more than men do. So for sex to happen, for marriage to happen, a woman has to approve for it to happen. So I think that's one of the reasons why they are more concerned. So if you're somebody that have a terrible past and you allowed it, men are more concerned about it and other stuff. But I don't think women prioritize, a lot of women prioritize men's past. The other thing that I said earlier was that women don't really prioritize men's look. And it also boils down to that being able to lead and having that financial dependency. They don't really care about how you look. That's why sometimes you come out and you look at, well, see this fine girl. She's so fine. Then the husband steps out. You see one man with, hey, you guys, I'm not saying this bad. But then you see one man with pot belly and he's looking somehow maybe not the cutest in the house, but then the girl is comfortable with him and they are happy together. They are happy. It's to you, the guy might not be, remember the beauty is in the eyes of the beholder though, but then to you, the guy might not look the best, but then to the guy, but to the girl, he's all he cares about. So women most times don't care about looks. Well, some do. Let me just put it that way. Some do. Before you now say that you don't come in the comment and start telling me it's not true. Some do, but majority don't. Then another thing women don't really care about is a man's cooking skill. Sometimes even I've seen women who have issues with their husband cooking, especially if the man is a chef. They feel threatened and all those stuff. But then, yeah, it's not really a priority to women. So yeah, if you can cook it, I think it's a bonus to the woman and all those stuff. But then it's not a priority. A woman will not tell you no, that she doesn't want to be with you because you cannot cook. But a man can do that. A man can actually tell a woman no, that I want to marry you because you cannot cook. But a woman cannot tell a man no, I cannot marry you because you cannot cook. So you see, the priorities are different for men and women. And I think the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to things things that men try to do, but this one is a little bit tricky. I'll put it in between. I'll make it 50-50, because I believe that some women prioritize it while some doesn't. Is the man's character. It's tricky in a way because when we're talking about character is important. It's very, very important. But then based on what I've seen and seen and listened to, because I listened to some of these podcasts, some of these shows, some stories out there, I've discovered that it seems like women ignore a man's toxic character just because she wants to get married or the man is providing for her. That's why you can see all those kind of posts people make online, and you see, will you take 10 million naira and be with an abusive man or something like that? They'll be like, bring the money, or they'll tell you it's better to be crying in a Mercedes Benz than to be walking on barefoot or something like that. So you see, like most times, that's why I say 50-50. Like, they don't really care about a man's character, which I believe is terrible, because I think that the first thing you should be even caring about with anybody you want to be with is their character. You shouldn't be prioritizing their financial ability compared to them, because the truth is that somebody who has a good character and has a good money management skills, which is also a character trait, I think if the person is able to gain wealth, the person will be able to manage that wealth, and you people will be able to grow together and make the money and be happy. But most times, people that lack character, they will abuse you, they will cheat on you, they will treat you anyhow. But then you see these ladies keep going back, because sometimes I listen to these shows and I'm like, seriously, like this guy can like there was one I was watching the other day, and the guy was complaining about the lady. The lady is actually 7 months pregnant. She works and she has kids to take care of too. And they are both living together, but they are not married. They are planning to get married. And then this guy actually doesn't work. He doesn't work. He said he's looking for a work job, but for a while he hasn't been working. So the woman is the one taking care of the financial aspect of the home, taking care of the kid, and she's still pregnant. Then this young man is there complaining that she's not prioritizing her hygiene, that she's not cleaning the house, that she can leave a dish in the sink and not wash it and all those stuff. Whereas this young man is not doing anything. Like the typical thing or the normal thing a sensible young man would do is to actually switch roles for as it things stand. So she's the one making the money, she's the one providing for the home because you are not working. A sensible man would take upon himself to take care of the domestic responsibilities and not wait for the woman. But this guy is waiting for the woman to do the domestic work, go to work also, then also even it got to the point where she even bought him a video game, and if she doesn't buy a new video game, like she bought let's say people that play game know, she bought the console and the Xbox and whatever, and the game plate or whatever, the plate or the online whatever, I don't know how to explain it right now. But then the game itself, not the machine, the game itself that you need to play, like soccer, Street Fighter and stuff like that. So if she doesn't buy it for him, he will start complaining, start giving her attitude. I'm like, sister, what are you doing with this man? Like, what are you seeing in this man that you? And she will keep saying that he's a good backbone. Backbone what? What is he backing bone there? So I don't understand. Sometimes I don't understand it. But then it's strange to me that things that people should prioritize, they're not prioritizing it. Like, character is very important. It should be the first thing on your list, apart from maybe leadership and other stuff. But character is very important. Don't ignore a man's character because he is wealthy, because you will experience unhappiness. The thing about character is that it's something that plays out over time, and it will get to a point you now start getting frustrated. But if you ignore it in the first instance, ignore it, and finally get married to him, he will keep being that way to you. People treat you the way you allow them to treat you. People don't really overstep you if you don't give them that opportunity. So if you allow somebody with a bad behavior, bad habit to keep treating you badly, they will keep treating you badly. They won't stop. It is when you ask them or make them or push them to stop, that's when they will stop. So I really wish that most women will start making this in the top of their list. Character. Before financial stability, prioritize character. You understand what I'm saying? You will be at peace with a man with good character and makes minimum wage. I'm telling you the truth. Worst comes to worst, let's say he's making minimum wage. It's not, I know, I'm not saying get married to minimum wage, but let's say worst comes to worst, he's making minimum wage, or he's making something that is able to take care of him and you, but not necessarily take you on vacations and all, like buy expensive stuff. Being with that kind of man is better than being with a man who has bad character, cheats on you, doesn't respect you, speaks to you anyhow, but yet gives you enough money every month end. It's not healthy. And over time, you will get frustrated and you want to leave. But with the other guy who has character, there is potential, there is possibility that both of you can build together and you grow together and you make money together. So this is what I wish that women prioritize in all this I've talked about. And then for everything we have talked about today, I really want to encourage men out there. Build yourself. Women, build yourself. If you have not watched last week's episode, you can go ahead and check it out and watch it, and I believe you also learn something from it. And then next in our next episode, I think I want to talk about things that I think that we really need to prioritize as people before especially as Christian, before you start adding these other ones. There are things I believe that as a Christian you need to prioritize when choosing a husband or a wife. That way other things are additional. So I believe this video was helpful to you. I believe you have learned from this video. If you did, please do well to subscribe to my channel. Do well to hit the notification bell. Do well to subscribe to my podcast platform. Do well to do everything good. Recommend your friends to watch. I really want to be bringing us good lessons, good teachings here that will help you to build a successful relationship and marriage. And you can also check my podcast on my YouTube channel and see other videos I've done, like the communication I talked about. You can learn so many things from it. And yeah, I think I'm trying to open a slot where I can have more guests. So if you want to appear as a guest in the show, just shoot me an email at profiteneh99@gmail.com. Shoot me an email, then we can see how we can bring you to the show. It could be, you don't need to be in person, it could be online. We can just talk over and all those stuff. Yeah, so I look forward to hearing from you guys. Thank you very, very much for staying up to this point, and I hope this video blessed you. So see you guys in the next episode. Take care of yourself. Bye.